The year is 2010. Real estate is still struggling to recover from the financial crisis. People are looking for opportunities. And then one day someone walks into your life who claims to have the opportunity of a lifetime. Someone who talks about creating a new world, a better world. He says, I have the opportunity of a lifetime for you. Join me and together we will create a better future. You ask, what is this opportunity? What is this future? But he doesn't answer those questions. He doesn't need to. His mere presence is enough. And you think to yourself, who am I to question such a man? So you join him and things take off. Your life is transformed. The next few years, you grow alongside this man in his mission. You have children. You get old. You put your trust in him. You recommend him to friends and family. You tell everyone around you that he is the best thing that ever happened to you. And then one day he disappears. He leaves you and everyone else behind. The whole time he tells you that you guys are a family, that you're more than colleagues, that there's more to this than just a business. And deep down you believe him. But you can't understand why he would leave you and the rest of the family. It turns out he just wanted the money and he didn't care about any of you. He tricked you, betrayed you, and made you believe in something that never existed. This is a story that has happened over and over again in the past. And if you thought that such stories only exist in fiction or movies, well, I have some news for you. This is the story of Adam Neumann, the man who created one of the largest cults of our generation. A cult disguised as a billion-dollar startup. It is the story of how he created WeWork, a cult-like company that at one point was valued at $47 billion. Before we dive into the story of how Adam Neumann created a $47 billion cult, let's look at its origin. Adam Neumann was born in 1978 to two hippie parents. His father was a karate instructor. His mother wrote books on alternative medicine. And as a kid, Adam wasn't interested in making money or starting a business. In fact, he failed his first business class in college. But after graduating, Adam went to Israel. It was there that his life changed. While in Israel, Adam lived on a kibbutz. If you don't know what a kibbutz is, well, it's basically a form of communal living. And while he was there, he learned how to live in a community. And when he returned to the US, he started thinking about bringing the concept of a kibbutz to the modern workspace. And in 2010, along with Miguel McKelvey, he founded WeWork. As soon as people heard about WeWork, they wanted in. Initially, WeWork offered co-working spaces, but soon they began opening large facilities, offering traditional office space for rent. And this is what makes the story of WeWork very interesting because unlike other startups, WeWork was never a tech company. WeWork was a real estate company. It was a landlord, and landlords aren't usually associated with innovation, especially not with a $47 billion valuation. Now, if you've ever worked in a WeWork facility, you know that it doesn't feel like a typical office space. It feels like a hipster playground. All of the facilities are designed to encourage creativity. There is always beer on tap, and it doesn't feel like a place where anyone wants to work hard. And that was the whole point of WeWork. Adam wanted to create a space where people would love to work, a space where they wouldn't even feel like they were working. But in order to convince investors to fund his vision, Adam needed to sell them on a dream of building a better world. And he did that very effectively. In fact, Adam attracted some of the most talented people in the world. And that's the second thing that makes the story of WeWork interesting because Adam built a cult-like following. For example, WeWork once held a retreat in Arizona. It brought together 5,000 members of WeWork. Adam showed up riding a white horse and gave a speech saying, "I feel like we are pioneers in the middle of the desert building a city in the middle of nowhere." Later, people described it as a religious experience, but the most impressive thing about WeWork was its valuation. Adam grew WeWork from a small real estate startup into a massive corporation that was valued at $47 billion. And as WeWork grew, so did Adam's wealth. According to Forbes, Adam is currently worth $1.5 billion. But the craziest part about all of this is that Adam achieved all of this by pretending to be something that he is not, a visionary leader, a tech guru. But the reality was far from this. When you look behind the curtains of WeWork, you realize that it's just a landlord charging exorbitant amounts of money for office space. It's basically WeWork charged companies thousands of dollars per desk, which sounds insane considering that a desk costs maybe $100. And here's the kicker. WeWork was losing money on every single WeWork office it opened. Now this isn't surprising considering that real estate is typically not a high-margin business. So how did WeWork sustain itself for so long? Well, that's pretty simple. Someone was always willing to invest more money into the company, and the main investor was SoftBank. SoftBank invested $11 billion into WeWork, valuing the company at $47 billion. And if you're wondering why SoftBank invested so much money into a real estate company, well, I don't know. Maybe they were also blinded by the dream of building a better world. Or maybe they just liked the idea of investing in a tech unicorn. But either way, SoftBank's investment kept the scam alive. It allowed Adam to maintain his lavish lifestyle. Adam owned multiple apartments in New York City. He had a private jet. He threw huge parties. And according to reports, he spent $6 million a month. SoftBank's money allowed Adam to create a cult around WeWork, a cult that was led by charisma and deception. And this brings us to the third and most important thing about WeWork. WeWork was a cult. Cult leaders often pretend to be something they're not. They project an image of greatness, but behind closed doors they're just average people. Adam Neumann was no different. The man that gave inspirational speeches and talked about changing the world was probably just another average guy trying to make a buck. Now, you might be wondering, if Adam was just an average guy, why did so many smart people fall for his trap? Well, the answer is simple. Most of the people who fell for Adam's trap were young, ambitious individuals. They were eager to learn from a successful businessman. They wanted to be part of something bigger than themselves, and Adam gave them that opportunity. He created a community, and for many of these young individuals, that was more important than anything else. But communities can be dangerous. They often lead to groups. When you spend all of your time with people who agree with you, you start believing that you're right, even when you're wrong. And this is what happened at WeWork. Everyone at WeWork believed that the company was destined to succeed. They believed that WeWork was more than just a company. It was a movement. It was a revolution. And this leads us to the end of the story. If you look at WeWork today, it's just a shell of its former self. It's still a landlord charging exorbitant amounts of money for office space, but now it's a much smaller landlord. In fact, WeWork is on the verge of bankruptcy. And that's a shame because thousands of people lost their jobs. But here's the craziest part about all of this. Despite the fact that WeWork is in bankruptcy, Adam isn't poor. He's actually a billionaire. When WeWork failed, SoftBank paid Adam $1.7 billion to leave the company. And that's a good return on investment if you ask me. And that's the story of WeWork, a company that pretended to be something it wasn't, a company that sold a dream that never existed, a company that built a cult around its founder. Thank you for watching this episode, and if you enjoyed it, please hit the like button below. Thank you again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.